We'll call this meeting to order, December 4th, 2017 at 3:01. Everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Mr. Pekowski.
Here.
Mr. Giordan.
Here.
Mr. Lucci. Ms. Coy.
Here.
Mr. Haskins.
Here.
Mr. Baumgartner. Mr. Dawson.
Roll call completed. Approval of minutes of the last meeting.
Move to approve.
Do we have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed. Old business. We have the 4th of July parade.
The order of
Order
parade.
of the parade.
Did everyone got a copy last time, correct?
They should have. I have it right here.
I'm looking for my copy here.
Okay.
Sorry, I should have it out.
The order of the parade goes as Military Honor Guard. The Honor Guard is to escort the Grand Marshal. All veterans groups fall in behind the Grand Marshal. VFW Post 10210, VFW, federally chartered in 1899. Then the American Legion Post 189, American Legion federally chartered in 1919. Veterans Council of Indian River County Incorporated 2011. And then any other legitimate veterans organizations. Following will be the Sebastian Police Department, if participating, the Sheriff's Department, the City Council, the Sharks High School Band, then any other organizations will follow them. That is no particular order, however they line up. Remember, this parade is sponsored by the City of Sebastian. If there is any conflict, Sebastian comes first. Is everybody in agreement with that list?
Agreed.
Thank you. This is going to be easy.
Yes. The thing is, we've had problems in the past, everybody getting out of order. I spoke to the chief of police and a few others, and one of the problems has been is people lining them up really didn't know. Everybody says, well, I'm supposed to be here. He would just agree. The police that would be there didn't have a list. So they had no knowledge of where anybody went. Everybody was just saying, me first, me first. Well, this is the list that we're going to go by. Anybody lining up or whatever there will have a copy of this list. Any of the police officers will have a copy of this list. Hopefully in the future, we can make this parade come with no problems. It's my sincere hope.
Yeah. And one other thing worth mentioning here, there are people with buses that say, we have to follow the honor guard immediately. Well, there are other military walking folks in between the honor guard and the end of the military part. If their true mission is to be able to pick up people who fall out, it should be all veterans who fall out, not just the honor guard. And so that just doesn't follow. The honor guard walks. Any bus, and if there is a need for a bus immediately behind the honor guard, something is very, very wrong. Ambulances take people to the hospital. not our private buses. So just to be clear on that point, the honor guard marches, then the rest of the order as it is. Any buses that come along with the honor guard fall in at the rear of the march so that they can pick up all veterans, not just.
Right.
I might mention that the bus that's involved in the parade is supplied by the Veterans Organization at West Palm Beach, and we secure special permission from them to do this service to the community. So, and the main purpose of that bus, besides carrying veterans that can't walk, is exactly as you said, is to pick up anybody that might have incapacity during the actual leading of the parade.
Yeah, but that is the point, Barney. If they are further back, any of the other veterans that do fall out, they can pick up. Yes. And
So they
that
can
way
come-
they're not interfering with the order of the march or anything else.
No, it shouldn't, but I want to make clear that it is West Palm Beach Veterans Organization that supplies the bus. It's not a local, not either the American Legion nor the VFW. It is actually the Veterans Organization at West Palm Beach.
Right. But are we clear with the bus situation though? Okay. Go ahead, Russ.
The Grand Marshal. Who picks the Grand Marshal?
Right now, the Lions Club picks the Grand Marshal every year. That's their function. Whoever's in charge of the parade historically has done that, and for years it's been the Lions Club.
Well, shouldn't it be the oldest veteran that we have? They should be the Grand Marshals.
Well, I suppose that's a thought. I don't know. I guess that's something that we would have to ask council, I think, to change that, because we can ask Marguerite what she thinks, but I just know over the years that has been a function of whoever's in charge of the parade. And right now, it's the Lions Club. And oh, by the way, that contract is up for renewal, I believe, or there's some discussion about renewing the contract. So those decisions need to be made.
Then I would suggest let's table that for now, and let's investigate that and bring that back up at the next meeting. And
That's interesting. That's a very interesting thing.
yes, it is very interesting.
Because if it's a veterans parade, I'd rather have a veteran that's 95 years old being the Grand Marshal than they're the ones that fought.
No, it's a very legitimate point, Russ. And I would say let's investigate that and see where we can go with that. And let's put that down for.
When is the meeting?
Yes, and thank you. If I may interrupt, good afternoon, committee members. I'm filling in for the city manager who couldn't attend the meeting this afternoon, but that's actually a very good question. The city or staff does have a meeting with the Lions Club to discuss the order and the logistics of these 4th of July parade on December 29th at 10. I don't know if a motion is necessary to be made as to agreeing to this order of the parade so that staff can then relay this message to the Lions Club during our meeting. Now, as far as the selection of the Grand Marshal, staff can certainly ask the Lions Club. We are going to go through, like I said, the logistics of the parade, of the 4th of July parade. Not the whole event in and of itself, but the parade. So if this is something that the committee would request that staff brings up to the Lions Club during our meeting, we will be more than glad to do so.
So do you recommend that we approve this by vote? Did we just do that? Did we do that? Did we have a vote? We all just
question.
verbally agreed.
Are we talking about the 4th of July parade or Veterans
Yes,
Day
yes.
parade? Veterans Day parade is for the veterans. I believe the 4th of July parade
There's no
is
Veterans
for
Day
the
parade.
nation as a whole.
There is no Veterans
There's
Day
no
parade.
Veterans Day parade. We're talking about the 4th of July parade.
All right.
So you want us to vote to pass this and to recommend that this be, who's the final decision on this? This is a very interesting question.
These are actually very interesting questions, but I would only ask, staff would only request that a motion be made so that we can then relay and say, you know, we had a Veterans Advisory Committee meeting during which this was discussed, and the ordinance and the order of this parade was very important to the committee. A vote was made, and then we can, you know.
This is the recommended
This
vote.
was their recommendation of the committee, and then we can take it from there.
Move to approve the order of parade as written.
All in favor?
I abstain.
What?
Abstain.
Why? You can't
It's
abstain.
my decision, madam. If I wish to abstain, I can on the vote. You look at Robert's rules, you'll see that.
I can't hear you.
I say I abstain from it because I don't have any opinion either way.
You can't abstain because you don't have an opinion. You have to have an opinion. There's no such thing as abstaining. You abstain when you have a conflict of interest. You have no conflict of interest in this, Mr. Jordan. You have to vote one way or the other.
All right, Councilwoman, I haven't got my Robert's Rules of Orders with me, but I'll
I can't hear you,
vote
Mr.
with you then.
I did not hear a word
Barney,
you
bring
said.
the mic down to you.
I said I do not have my Robert's Rules of Order with me, but I will go ahead and vote yes.
All right, then.
I didn't hear what you said.
It's unanimous, the vote is unanimous.
Thank you, okay. I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry, the acoustics in here are really bad, and my hearing aids are all the way up. Do you want to bring up then at that meeting what their thoughts are about making the, is that okay, Commander?
Yes,
Is that all right?
Should we attend that meeting?
No.
I know that it's a staff meeting with the Lions Club. I can certainly ask and see if you can attend the meeting and then let you know. We do
Right.
have some time, being that the meeting is not until December 29th.
Okay, if, that way, we'd have, if they have any questions, or, you know, we could be able to turn and give them an answer, or put our input to them on that,
Well,
if they would allow.
I don't think they'll have any problem with the order of parade. I think
No,
it's a
not the
matter
order,
of,
but
I
the
think they'll be.
Grand Marshal.
Yeah, the Grand Marshal, maybe if Marguerite would bring that up and get their feeling that we would like to positively consider that. And at our next meeting, we could, if no one objects, we'll just do it at the next meeting. We'll hash it out then. I think that's a
So-
great
So
idea.
just let me know then, Margarita, you just check
Yeah.
in that and let me know.
Yes, for sure, the staff will advise the Lions Club that the Veterans Committee has made the recommendation to follow this order of the parade for the 4th of July. And then, of course, I will mention, you know, that there was the mention of the selection of the Grand Marshal, see how it plays out. And then for sure, staff will report back to the committee at the next meeting.
And that the local organizations would be responsible for deciding between the two, but, you know, having a meeting. Actually, we'd probably do it here.
I was just gonna say, that probably would be the best to do it right here.
Yeah, and each year would be nominated here. That would be super. I like
Yeah,
that.
that was very, I'm glad they brought that up. That was very,
Some good things can happen here.
okay, so we're clear on that then?
Yep.
Oh, where am I at here? Wrong paper. All right, Military Museum at the American Legion.
Move to delete the project.
I don't see how it's going to happen. As far as I could see, delete the project. No one said anything since I've been here. It seemed like it was a hush-hush secret.
Oh, no, well, the thing was, with trying to put that there, you're dealing with handicap facilities. There's so many things that goes involved. It's not like just putting a trailer or a small building there. If you put a museum there, you're going to have to conform to all of the Handicap Disabilities Act, which you're talking a great deal of money. If anybody has dealt with disability acts, you'll know you're dealing with a great deal of money. And I just, myself, I thought it was a great idea, but I just can't see where it's feasible.
That, and, yeah, and the city, I didn't get the impression that the city was interested in helping out. You know, you can't bypass those kind of regulations, and the building that was being discussed was an old thing for, they
Mobile
wanted
home
to
or-
move the motorhome from Shady Rest down here, and that comes with all kinds of problems all by itself, too.
So-
It just wasn't a really good plan.
So,
Delete it, and that's it.
Okay,
I
I
made the
will-
motion. Anybody want a second?
I'll second it. Move to delete the American Legion Museum project. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carried. All right, so we have a couple of people in the back. We have public input.
No, this is your chance.
This is your chance to say whatever you want to say to us. Would you come forward, please? Would
gotta
you come
up-
forward, please?
you get-
Come on, it's not going to bite you. Come on, come on up. Come on, Des, we want to hear your
It's
question.
okay.
All right.
She doesn't want to know.
All right, we'll move to new business. Pearl Harbor Day. Pearl Harbor Day will be at 11:30 a.m. That's this Thursday. Our honor guards and everybody are all set.
I might add to that the West Palm Beach Veterans Organization has authorized the use of their bus for that program, for the transport of the honor guard.
Okay. Our new mayor, Jim Hill, will be doing some remarks. It'll be a very, very nice program. We hope that everybody can attend.
What time does it start?
11:30 on December 7th at 11:30 a.m. I'd like to bring up, it kind of gets bypassed several times. I know the American Legion and the VFW both have concerns about it. Future veterans needs and Veterans Council projects. There's a lot of people in our community that really haven't been reached out to. And I'm in the process of working up some programs to where we can turn around and have some functions to where we can reach out and let these veterans know. I mean, I believe the city does have a listing of all the veterans that have came back from Iraq or Afghanistan or whatever. We'd like to start thinking about and I'd like the American Legion to work with us on that, because they're all veterans. Whether they served overseas or whether they served here, they wore the uniform, and we need to bring them into our folds of the American Legion and the VFW. We just need to reach out and have some programs. Let's see if we can get all of our veterans involved and show them that we care about them. They should have that knowledge that we do care about them, and I'd like to make sure we get some programs working that will get that accomplished.
I agree with you, and I'd like to say that the Veterans Council has 20-odd veteran members as well as 45 some associate members, and I think that we could bring this up at the Veterans Council meeting, probably have representation from the whole community on it, and maybe get a organized effort to welcome these people back.
That would be great, Barney.
You have
Andrea?
to find them. I agree that there's a great need to locate the people that we aren't serving, and that's more than who we are serving. And if you take a look at both of our clubs, the VFW and the Legion, it's pretty cut and dried across there. They are older. Very few younger folks involved at all, and we need to find ways to attract everybody, and not just the people that, since I have been here, the people that have been coming to the Legion and the VFW has not changed. The programs have not changed. So the key to our success is going to be how to attract the other people. Look at these young people sitting in the back. They cared enough to come here today.
Yes.
We need to find ways to do that. And I have some ideas, and I think we can talk privately about it. What I did want to talk about, if I could just change the topic a little bit under this topic, is projects for the city of Sebastian, things that we want to help in the park. Certainly, there are a lot of things that we could use, and the city has gone to quite a bit of expense in our park for veterans with little or no help from us. Little to no help from us. And I think that's one of the purposes of our advisory board here, is to come up with things that we know we need, like shade, more seating, and then come up with ways on how to help the city fund that, so that we can expedite these things and not just be standing there with our hand out, taking all the time.
It's working together.
Working in ways on how to support our veterans and do more things in the park and attract the younger folks who are just coming back. So, this is the first time this has really been on the agenda. And I don't know, it's just food for thought. But I think we owe it to the city to start helping. We know we need stuff, so let's start making that happen and help them make that happen. And there's lots of people in the community who will help us. There are.
There sure is.
But we have to identify what the common need is. And I'm not just talking about what you need for the VFW or what you need for the American Legion, but what do we need collectively that can be used for the community. And we can get community members to help.
But what will really help, Ms. Coy, is if the city let us know what kind of help they could use. If you have a project in mind that you're going to fund by yourself, let us know what you're planning to do, so then I could take it, or Russ could take it to their membership and see if they would like to help support these projects.
Well,
there are several that you do just automatically do by yourself, but if we have a letter, for instance, the boys soccer league just sent me a letter from Sebastian School requesting some funds. They can talk to me all day. Unless I have a letter from them to read and to show to our membership where we can act on it, there's nothing I can do unless I have the paper to turn around and that they're requesting it, to prove that they're requesting it.
Maybe at the meetings then, why don't as your next meeting's coming up this month, why don't you ask your folks, what do you want to see in the community?
Could I just ask something? We were talking about veterans, and now we're talking about kids in soccer. The young man, are you a veteran? If you were a veteran, what would you ask the city, say in the park, to bring the young veterans together, or to bring them out?
Well, we need to ask the veterans what they want. But for this, I agree with you about the soccer stuff.
I was only using that as an example.
Okay, but here's the thing. We're the Veterans Advisory Board. The Veterans Advisory Board. Our job is to advise council, to advise them. That's our job. It's not just to have a spaghetti dinner or a steak dinner. Our job is to advise council of what we would like to see. That's our job from here. So
Correct.
that's what I'm asking
Yes.
you to go back. We should be going back to the clubs and saying, all right, if the city could do something, if we could do something with the city, what do we need to have? What do you want? You know, do you want bleacher seating or shade structures? And if we can come up with a project collectively, think of what we could do as a community and get the people in the community to help us raise funds for veterans' use.
Yes. and
That's what we can do.
Exactly. That's why a couple meetings ago, and I spoke to Joe about shade for our honor guard. The Rotary Club had talked to me about it. Those are the things, yes.
You got to think
those-
big. That was just a
that-
permanent little
that-
tent to
but
put
that's-
up and
But that's
down.
a start. I mean, we have to start somewhere. But if we could get where we know what the city's looking at, what we're looking at together, I think it would go a lot further.
So let's it's just my experience having worked with the city for 13 years. If you want something, you got to tell them what you want, or you're going to just get something out of the clear blue. So it's my suggestion, and I'm suggesting we go for some shade and start looking at some nice permanent shade for down there and how much it costs.
Exactly.
And I think the city manager has already looked at some stuff, and we put it in permanently, not a tent that you put up and down, because who's going to do that? You're getting a little old, John, I'm sorry, and I'm too old to do it.
Barney will do it.
Yeah,
You'll
but
have Barney do it.
That's great, and we need to work on that.
I want to say that I have talked with the city manager several times on projects down there, and as you know, our city manager is also a veteran, and he is very acquiescent to help the veterans if you bring the project before him. Also, I just might mention this in conjunction with the well-thought-out program would be to coordinate it also with the Veterans Council, because as a member of the Veterans Council, both the American Legion and the VFW are represented there. We do also help veterans, and I have personally helped veterans in this community on it, so that some of those projects could also be coordinated and presented to the Veterans Council.
We could ask them for money. They're giving $300,000 for a monument in their park down there. They're raising funds for that. Why don't we ask them for money? Because they haven't given us money up here. And Barney, I got the statistics. For the program that you work with that helps veterans, we had twice as many requests for assistance out of the city of Sebastian as Vero Beach. Twice as many requests, and we got half the funding. So it's a little on the off
I'm not
side.
distinguishing between Vero Beach and Sebastian. This is a cooperative organization for veterans, not for the particular cities
Okay.
involved.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. All right, Member Matters, Veterans Day and Patriots Pen update.
I don't know about you, but I thought Veterans Day was really cool. For everybody to hang around in the rain, and the kids.
Except for the rain.
It was a very, very inspiring to see the kids. We had a rainy day. Them kids didn't care. They hung right in there, and so did our city council and everybody.
So did the
Everybody hung in
band,
there.
hung out in the gazebo
Yeah.
in the rain.
Luckily, when the program started, it did clear up, and everything went off with a good bang. I tell you what, I think the Sebastian Junior Charter High should be commended on the job they did. I thought it was a very wonderful program, and look forward to having these schools get more involved in the projects we do. It's just
Well, just for the record, they also did 95 Patriots pens.
That
They
was
wrote
coming up next.
95 kids wrote the essay for Patriots pen out at Sebastian Charter Junior High.
the most it's ever been.
And that's just phenomenal. Now, I will tell you that I've already approached the Sebastian Middle School about next year's Veterans Day, trying to get them involved, but we do have an issue that for next year, and that's why I brought you all a calendar. Next year, Veterans Day is on a Sunday.
Oh, then the church is going to,
and we do 11, 11 at 11, the kids are going to probably be off on Monday. Probably, if they.
I believe they are the day after. I believe they are.
I
I'm
think
not sure,
they-
but I believe
yeah.
they are.
But that might cause an issue with having the children participate. I don't know yet, maybe not. But do you want to run it at 11 o'clock or change it to 1 o'clock? I think we did the 1 o'clock deal the last time.
Yeah, I think that's what we did do last time. We put it at 1 o'clock instead of 11 due to that situation.
Yes, the church was asking
Yeah.
because of the people going to church. So I believe you're correct, Brian. I believe we did move that to 1
Right.
o'clock,
And,
and we'll probably have to do this. We'll probably have to do the same thing, but we have time to work on that. But we need to get that straightened away.
Well, before I spend any time on it, do you want me to see if I can get the kids to do it again?
Yes.
Or not? I mean, that's a decision, because if you don't
there-
want the kids to do it again, I won't bother.
I'd like to advise you a little bit that the programming of those programs is between the American Legion and the VFW. It used to be rotated, now it's a joint operation. I think that
That's what we are
that
up
part
here.
of the operation should be given before the committees for both commanders to decide.
Right, well, next year it is your turn, but we're working in cooperation. But next year it's your turn to
Absolutely.
make the major decisions. So that would be up to you. But if I thought when Andrea and I talked about having these high school kids, these kids coming up and doing these programs, I thought it was such a wonderful idea to get involved, to have them involved in programs like our Veterans Day. I was going to try for Pearl Harbor, but it's a school day. Everybody's in school, so we don't have the high school band or any of that again. But I think it's a unique idea, Barney, and hopefully you'll see it that way too.
Yeah,
Well,
all
let
I'm
me
saying
remind
is
Mr.
that it's not
Giordano-
something that should be decided here. It's something that should be decided between the two commanders and the members of the boards of each
There's one
organization.
there's one commander, you're a member, I'm a member. That's the purpose of this board. We're all here, Barney.
This is a city advisory board, madam.
But we're meeting here as a group. What is your purpose here?
My purpose as a delegate here is to represent the American
not
Legion
get into
as to
that.
what affairs are related to the relationship with the city of Sebastian and the
Okay,
city
I
council.
just asked the American Legion,
We-
I asked the commanders are here. If you would like me to pursue it, it doesn't have to be finalized, but if you don't want me to pursue it, you can find someone else to do Veterans Day.
I will say yes, but we'll turn around, we'll let the American Legion decide what they want to do, and I will inform you within a couple of weeks. We have time, so let's let them have their meeting and decide what they want to do, and then I'll let you know if to proceed or not.
Okay, so next year, all the stuff is being done by,
No, it's being
yeah, see, John,
being done by both, just like this year.
We're working together.
Both the honor guard composes of VFW, American Legion veterans. So it's not just one group; it's both groups.
that's right,
And we can't bicker about.
No, and I don't
Let's
want to see
decide. We have 10 months. We'll decide. Get it going. Whatever it'll be done within 2 months. We'll decide.
And I
Okay.
agree. So you and I will get together and we'll.
Yeah.
There you go.
we'll-
Yeah, make the-
Let me say this, commanders, you have executive boards. I'm a member of both organizations, and we have executive boards, and I think it should be taken up with them, and the decision
We're
be
going to
made.
do that, Barney.
That's-
We're going to do that,
Can
Barney.
I just ask Mr. Giordano if he has a problem with me setting up another one? Is there a problem? Because I'm sensing that you're objecting that I'm involved in it.
There's no problem.
Thank you. Okay, no problem.
All right, so I will let you know.
Okay, because I need lots of leeway.
Yes,
I-
ma'am,
Okay.
I will deal with it. Okay, at the VFW, we held, on the Marine Corps birthday, we celebrated the Marine Corps birthday and also had a Toys for Tots drive, which turned out very, very well. The big boxes they drop off, we probably ended up with about 8 boxes full of toys for the kids. So it went very, very well. The people really came out and really turned around and did a great job. So, and I'm very, Chip Jennison ran it for us, our district junior vice, and it was a great time for everybody, and we really, I think he did very, very well with Toys for Tots for the kids. And along with that, we're having, I think I have approximately about 30 to 35 kids this year that we're holding a Christmas party for, and for presents and that for the disadvantaged children in our area. That'll be on December 23rd at 1 o'clock at the VFW. 2 o'clock, Santa Claus will be coming over on the fire truck. We don't have any snow, so we got to use a fire truck. But it's going to be another great time for all, and we're doing our best. We're doing our best to help disadvantaged children in our area. It's one thing that I firmly believe in, is reaching out to our needy families. Because we're not only about veterans. We're about veterans and our community. So that's one thing a lot of people turn around, they forget. They think we're just a VFW, and it's just a bar, American League's just a bar. We're here to help our veterans and our community. And I'd just like that to be clarified. Well, okay, Butch. Have a seat. All right, do we have any other matters that we have to attend to today?
I have some other matters. I have a few things to announce.
Okay, Barney,
All right.
floor is yours.
I first would like to announce that the Veterans Council has been approached with an organization. I don't have the names right now. I'm sorry, I couldn't get the information ahead of time. But on the honor flights that are continuing, they have money available to sponsor the attendees. In other words, in the honor flight system that currently exists, the veteran is no charge to fly to Washington, D.C. and back. The attendee, which they require, has to pay $400. This organization will announce at the Veterans Council, as I believe, and we'll get the information here, that they will pay for whatever funding they have. They will pay for the attendees that are going on it. So that helps on that.
Now that's to Washington and back?
Yeah, Washington and back. And I'm understanding now, and I can be corrected on this if I'm wrong, but I believe it's also open to Korean veterans as well as Vietnam veterans now on it. But that's the information.
That's correct. I know a Korean veteran who went.
All right. Second thing I wanted to talk about is that I attended a breakfast at the middle school, a veterans breakfast that was on Saturday at Monday, I believe it was, at 7:30 in the morning. This was put on, sponsored originally by Mr. Jack Hodge, who is a real patriot of this community. And we had a very good attendance on it. Veterans were free with their spouse or wives and spouse and whoever they had. And they had entertainment, singing and so forth from the middle school students, as well as a march around the school. All the students stood outside around the school halls, and they honored the veterans as they came around to the whole school. It was a very nice presentation. They hope to continue it next year. Also, the middle school, which has had programs concerning veterans, is going to go to the Veterans Council and present a check funding to the Veterans Council from the Sebastian Middle School students on it. And last I have is that I'd like to tell you that we do have VFW, American Legion, and the Veterans Council combined have the Americanism program that has been presented in schools in the past, and we will again be doing this program after the first of the year. This is a program where it is about 50 minutes long, and we talk about what the Pledge of Allegiance means. We have some DVDs along with it. And we talk about the history of the Star-Spangled Banner. We talk about the flag code, and we actually have the students fold the flag like the military do at a funeral on it. And this program is continuing and will be in the school system throughout the county. There are 3 teams in the county operating on this. We have a team right up here in Sebastian, and they have 2 teams working in Vero Beach on it. That's it, sir.
Yes, it's a very, very good program, Barney. Also, St. Peter's Academy held a veteran service for us. If nobody's seen that or was unaware of it, kindergarten to 5th grade, each one did a different. They had poems. They were singing. They were afterwards. They had cookies and all kinds of stuff for us. And they also presented the kids themselves saved up their own money, and they presented the VFW with a check for $500 to help our veterans. And it was, I'll tell you what, there wasn't a dry eye in the place. It was just, it's so wonderful to see these kids come out and just, they were there for their veterans. When each veteran walked in, every one of them got up and they clapped and whistled, and it was, did you make that one, Barney? Did you make that one, the St. Peter's Academy?
No, I had another class at that time.
You were there, Russ.
No, I missed it.
You weren't there? I thought you were there.
But I have been in the
Yep.
past there, and it's a very commendable program.
Very commendable, and these children, I tell you what, they just brought tears to your eyes. It was just, each one of them, as each group had, they made little flyers and little pictures and stuff, and they come out and they'd hand them to everybody, and they were saluting you, and it was just wonderful. It was just wonderful. It just wonderful to see, and that's what we're talking about is the community involvement with the veterans. There's, I don't believe the schools teach anymore all the, our veterans kind of get put aside to other programs, and it's so wonderful to see when, like the programs Barney's talking about, the St. Peter's Academy, it's so wonderful when the Sebastian Junior High come out to do our speaking. It's so wonderful to see. These are our future veterans. These are our future veterans out there, and just so wonderful to see them involved, and it's just heartwarming to have them involved and keep them involved with us.
John, might I add to that, we had, during Veterans Day, we had classes in the Sebastian Elementary for 2 days, the full school, on what Veterans Day means.
Yes.
We also did the middle school, and we also did the Treasure Coast School. Now, that was all in Sebastian. There are other teams working in the rest of the county, but
Right.
I want to commend that we work
Right.
hard to bring veterans into the classroom.
Right. No, and I'm commending you on that, Barney. What I'm talking about is the schools themselves, but I'm commending you for the programs that we have out there.
Well, it's up to the teachers to call us. That's why we honor those teachers, because they
Right.
do call us. And it's interestingly enough that there are several teachers in the school system that are veterans themselves.
Yes, and it's great to see. Andrea, do you have anything else?
Just back under, I think we kind of skipped the purpose of the Veterans Council. Just a quick reminder. Joe Griffin was going to be here to remind folks, and maybe next time we could, I know he was unavailable, but maybe next time he can come. The reason that I think it's important for us to review this and to discuss the relationship between the Veterans Advisory Board and the City of Sebastian, and the relationships also between the VFW and the city and the Legion and the city, because, and here's why. In the last couple of months I can tell you the clam bake was one of the places, and when I've been out and about, I have heard people, veterans, say some really, really unkind things about the City of Sebastian. and very, very uncalled for. The city does an awful lot for us, and it's starting to be taken for granted. And I think it's important to emphasize how much and tell the members of both of our clubs, that our organizations, that the city does more here than any place I know of in the area, in Indian River County. The city does six memorial services for veterans every year. 6. And most of them are holidays, and they have to pay overtime to city staff. So when I hear a veteran cussing out city council and cussing out the city for being a bureaucratic yada, 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 because they didn't give them a free whatever, it's upsetting to me, because this city goes way above and beyond. And I've even heard some people say, when the city gave the VFW and the Legion $50,000 for a sewer system. And I've had people say, yeah, they do that for everybody. Well, no, they don't. The veterans got special, and the city council unanimously went out of their way to help veterans. And this city has really stepped up to the plate. And it's disappointing to hear veterans bite the hand that feeds them.
That's very few, though.
True.
I
but
agree 100% with the
that's-
fact that the
yeah.
city does cooperate, and I know the police department of Sebastian has allowed me in the future to provide escorts for the veterans on it. So I agree with you, Andrea, 100%.
Yeah, the city goes out of its way. So it's just very, I would hope that we can work on and try to stop it in its track. If you hear it, stop it.
Yes, if you hear it, stop it. It's like last year with the hurricane got us, but Michelle Morris, when we got in by with 9/11, jumped right up there and just, I mean, and fabulous. I mean, they did the programs, they did everything, and they're gonna be taking over 9/11 now. So that's one that we will participate, but they are going to be the main drive in it. But getting back to before we adjourn, at the last meeting, your senior vice time, Mike Roth, brought up a question on putting welcome signs. Was there anything accomplished on that that you know of, Russ? Or
Mr. Griffin was going to look into it.
yeah,
Mike
Mr.
Roth
Griffin
went.
and yes,
Mike Roth went to the Veterans Council in Vera, and brought that up. And so far,
nothing. No word
Not
back
yet.
word on it. Okay, but that's one thing I did want to remind.
I might add that Mike did make a presentation at the Veterans Council, which we have all the organizations that I mentioned about that, and hopefully maybe the city, at that time, one of the county commissioners was present, as well as Mr. Posey's office, which I don't know would make any difference. But he did bring it up and push it hard. I don't know what any results are, though.
This is the Veterans Advisory Board for the city, this group. It was brought up here, it's just brought up again, and it should remain here because last meeting, the city manager agreed. To get another organization involved only confuses the issue.
Andrea, the city manager said, go down to the county people, because they're the ones with the sign right outside.
Yes, we
He
were
said,
told to go to
"That's-
county. Yes, Joe did
City-
tell us to check with the county. Yes, Joe did.
If you'd like, I will probably see Joe Fletcher soon,
But,
probably by Wednesday, and maybe I could ask him about that and bring it up to him.
All right. Yes,
All right,
I just wanted
Joe
to
said he would check
touch
with the
bases on
county
it.
too.
I just wanted to touch base. Mr. Dawson, do you have anything for us, sir?
If I may interrupt, before we adjourn, I'm not sure if the committee has finished, but the city manager did want me to inform the committee that, he has arranged for a service officer from the DAV to staff an office here in City Hall 2 to 3 days a week for the purpose of assisting veterans with VA claims. This is gonna start sometime, at the beginning of next year, but the city manager did ask me to inform the committee of this.
Okay, that was my last one, was everybody keeps asking me, what about our service officer? And, I believe they're open on Thursday and Friday now. I believe they have somebody there at that office on Thursday
John, this is
and
different.
Friday.
This is different. This is a disabled American veteran service officer has an office in City Hall now. This is not the county service officer. This is totally different.
Okay, all right.
And I might,
service officer, and actually.
Press your button and bring it close.
On a DAV service officer, it's best if you belong to the DAV, because then what happens whenever you are putting a claim in, they're the ones sponsoring your claim.
Right.
Instead of like the VFW, when you go through a VA service officer and through the VFW, where the American Legion sponsors a claim for their people that need a claim, and it's sponsored by them. And then if you see their service officer, you can get better results. And it'll be good to have a DAV one, because I just sent a guy to Vieira for the DAV because he got a letter from them stating on what his percentages they could get him. And he wanted me to ask me about it because he didn't know what to do. And I told the best bet is to go to Vieira, to the service officer, the DAV, because he's a member of the DAV and they're handling it. They're his sponsor.
Okay.
I might add that the DAV just voted in a chapter in Sebastian. They were originally, I was at the meeting when this occurred, and they now have, they're getting the official word together. As I understand it, there will be a chapter of DAV in Sebastian.
I can attest to the success rate of the DAV. I refiled a complaint or a claim through DAV down in West Palm at the VA hospital, and in less than 4 months, I received the response, a positive response. They're extremely well known for knowing how to file and getting it done quickly.
Yes, they are. And 99% of them are actually DAV themselves.
Yep. So that person's going to be here 2 or 3 times a week, and watch for future dates. It's on the second floor of the office, and it's going to be right here in this building. So again, the city of Sebastian has given up office space.
That is starting the first of the year?
Yes, sometime at the beginning of next year, but it is gonna be 2 to 3 times a week. Yes, sir.
Good, that'll be great news to give to some of our veterans.
Yeah.
All right.
Now your county one. Now the county one. You were going to talk about the county.
Oh, yes, Rebecca Mitchell retired. As far as I know right now, we only have a Thursday and Friday, someone filling in. And I guess we just got to try to find out, see if they're going to have another permanent person. Miss Mitchell used to be there all the time, and there's a big need, a very, very large need to have that staffed 5 days a week. Don't know exactly. I've been trying to contact through Vieira and see if they're going to give us one. I do not know if they're going to up that or not, or they're just waiting to get the person to come and fill in. But I'm checking on and trying to find out what's going on with that. As far as I know right now, they're only open Thursday and Friday. So hopefully we can get somebody back in full time. Rebecca Mitchell is going to be a hard act to follow. She was very, very dedicated, did a wonderful job at that position, and we really need, I have Butch as my local service officer at the post, but we're so limited and we don't have the ability that that they have. But we're doing the best we can to help in our area, but we need to have that office staffed full-time. Anything else? Good?
I'm good.
Good. Well, I guess that'll conclude it. We're gonna have our closing. 1, 2, 3. We're
1, 2,
done.
3, we're done. Hit that gavel one time.
Boom, boom, boom. Done.